Stop scrolling. If you're new to investing or want to get into investing and you've heard of the S&P 500 but don't know what it is or why it's important, this video is for you. The S&P 500 stands for Standard & Poor's 500 Index, and it's essentially a list of the 500 most valuable US companies that are publicly traded. The S&P 500 holds companies with household names such as Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Netflix, companies that most people use on a day-to-day basis, and it is across multiple sectors. Think tech, healthcare, entertainment, and it gives a snapshot of how the US economy is doing. So here's why it matters to you. You can invest in the S&P 500 through something called an index fund or an ETF, and if you don't know what an ETF is, make sure you go watch my video on it. Instead of guessing which stocks to buy, when you buy an ETF or index fund that tracks the S&P 500, you're instantly investing in 500 companies across the board, which means your money is diversified, which is a fancy way of saying that your money is spread out across multiple things, which means it's less risky. Let me give you an example. The S&P 500 historically returns approximately 8 to 10% yearly. So let's say someone invested $1,000 into the S&P 500 and invested $100 each month for 20 years. At the end of 20 years, they would have approximately $83,000. $25,000 is what they invested, and then $58,000 is profit that their money made by simply investing in an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. Now, investing in an ETF or index fund that tracks the S&P 500 is a long-term investment. You will not see the benefit of investing in the S&P 500 if you are looking to make a quick buck or a huge return very quickly. Now, there are multiple index funds or ETFs that track the S&P 500. There is not just one, and here are some examples of them. So now that you know what the S&P 500 is in simple words, make sure you comment, like, and follow for more finance and investing basics made easy for the girls.